Lieutenant Jum Kim stood at the large window of Earth's first deep space outpost, Frontier Station 1. He watched the stars shine against the black emptiness of space. After 3 years as the station's diplomatic specialist, the view still filled him with wonder. His peace ended when the alarm sounded. Unidentified ship approaching. Call the voice over the station speakers. All staff to alert stations. June ran to the command center where Captain Dai was already watching the main screen. The unknown ship was unlike anything June had seen before. It had sharp angles and a dark metal hull that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Sir, the ship matches Terok design," said the sensor officer, her voice shaking slightly. The room went quiet. Everyone knew about the Terok. The Galactic Council had labeled them as the most dangerous predator species in known space. Humans had never met them directly, but the stories were enough to make even veteran space crews nervous. "They're hailing us," the communications officer said. Captain Dai straightened his uniform. "Put them through." The screen flickered to life, showing a dimly lit ship interior. A figure moved forward into view. June felt his heart beat faster. The Terok had dark, scaled skin with ridges along the jawline. Its eyes were amber with vertical pupils, like a cat's but larger. Despite its alien features, the creature's pain was clear. It was wounded, with dark fluid seeping from a gash on its shoulder. "This is Yule of the Terok scout vessel Fang," it said in perfect English. "I request emergency docking." And the Terok winced in pain. "I need to speak with human representatives." "Only humans." Captain Dai frowned. "This is Captain Dae Sung of Frontier Station 1. Why have you come to a human outpost? The Council has diplomatic stations better equipped for interspecies meetings." Yule's eyes narrowed. "The Council cannot help with our problem. We intercepted your data transmissions. We need humans specifically." The Terok leaned closer to the screen. "My people are dying. We have nowhere else to turn." Captain Dai muted the transmission and turned to his officers. "Opinions?" "It could be a trap," said Security Chief Su. "The Terok are known for their cunning as much as their strength. But what if they really need help?" June asked. "This could be a chance to establish relations with a species the Council has kept isolated." Captain Dai thought for a moment. "We'll allow docking, but with full security protocols. Lieutenant Kim, you'll be our liaison." June nodded, though his mouth felt dry. 2 hours later, June stood in the quarantine bay as the airlock cycled open. 4 security officers stood with weapons ready. The Terok, Lyul, walked slowly through the doorway. Up close, he was even more intimidating, nearly 7 feet tall with powerful muscles visible beneath his simple gray uniform. The wound on his shoulder looked worse in person. "I am Lieutenant Jum Kim," Jun said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I've been assigned as your liaison." Yule studied him with those unsettling amber eyes. "You are not afraid," he observed. "I am," June admitted, "but curiosity is stronger than fear." For the first time, the Terok's face formed what might have been a smile. "That is why we came to humans." He reached into a pocket, causing the security team to raise their weapons. Slowly, Lyul withdrew a small data device. "This contains information about a plague spreading through my people. Our scientists are baffled. Other Council species refuse to help us." "Why would they refuse?" June asked. Yul's expression darkened. "Because many believe the galaxy would be safer without the Terok. But humans," he handed the device to June. "Humans have faced countless diseases throughout your history and survived them all. And unlike the Council species, you do not yet fear us enough to let us die." Captain Da, who had been watching from behind a protective screen, spoke through the intercom. "Take our guest to the medical bay, Lieutenant. Let's hear what the Terok have to say." The medical bay of Frontier Station 1 was bright and clean. Dr. Han moved carefully around Lyul as she treated his shoulder wound. The Terok sat perfectly still, only his eyes moving to follow her actions. "The wound is deep," Dr. Han said, "but it will heal. You are lucky it missed any vital areas. Yule made a sound that might have been a laugh. Luck had nothing to do with it. My attacker wanted me to live long enough to deliver my message. Captain Da, June, and Security Chief Su stood a few feet away. They exchanged worried glances at Yule's words. "Who attacked you?" Captain Da asked. "I will answer all questions," Yule said. "But first, I must show you why I came." He nodded toward the data device that June still held. June handed the device to Dr. Han, who inserted it into the medical computer. The large screen on the wall came to life with images that made everyone in the room go quiet. The screen showed hundreds of Terok lying in rows on the floor of a large building. Many were clearly sick or dying. Medical workers moved between them, but there were too few helpers for so many sick. "This started 3 months ago," Yule explained. "A strange sickness that affects only Terok. It begins with weakness, then fever, then the body simply stops working. Already, 1/5 of our people are sick or dead." Dr. Han studied the medical data scrolling beside the images. "This looks like some kind of engineered virus. It targets specific genetic markers." "Our scientists believe the same," Yule said, "but they cannot find a cure." "Why not ask the Galactic Council for help?" Sue asked, her hand still resting on her weapon. "They have the best medical technology in known space." Yule's amber eyes narrowed. "We did. They said it was a natural disease and offered only to monitor the situation." "You don't believe them," Jun said. "It wasn't a question." "I was part of the delegation that went to the council," Yule said. His voice was low and angry. "While we were there, I overheard 2 Tyrillian representatives talking. They spoke of the plague as a final solution to the Terok problem." Captain Da leaned forward. "Are you suggesting that council members created this disease to kill your people?" "I have no proof," Yule admitted. "But when I tried to collect evidence, I was attacked and barely escaped with my life." "But why come to humans?" Dr. Han asked. "We're the newest members of the galactic community. Our medical technology is not as advanced as many other species." Yule stood up, his tall form towering over the humans. "Because your history is unique. We studied your data archives. Humans have survived countless plagues throughout your existence, and each time you found a way to cure the disease." He looked at each of the humans in turn. "Also, you have no reason to fear or hate us yet. The other species have centuries of reasons to want the Terok gone." Captain Da called for a private meeting in the next room, leaving guards with Yule. "This could be a trap," Sue warned once they were alone. "The Terok might be trying to draw us into a conflict with the Council. Or he could be telling the truth," June argued. "If Council species are committing genocide, we can't just ignore it." Dr. Han tapped on her tablet. "The medical data seems genuine. This disease is unlike anything I've seen, but there are patterns I recognize from Earth's historical pandemics." Captain Da was quiet for a long moment. "If we help and Vyuval is lying, we risk our relationship with the Council. If we refuse, and he's telling the truth, we allow mass murder." He straightened his shoulders. "Dr. Han, begin analyzing the data. Lieutenant Kim, contact Earth Command. We need permission to send a medical team to the Terok homeworld." When they returned to the medical bay, Vyuval was standing exactly where they had left him. "We will help you," Captain Da told him. "But we need to see your world for ourselves." Relief showed clearly on the alien predator's face. "Thank you," Yule said, words that no other species had heard from a Terok in centuries. The human medical ship Mercy left Frontier Station 3 days later. Captain Da had stayed behind, but he sent June, Dr. Han, and Security Chief Su with a small team to the Terok homeworld. Earth Command had approved the mission, though they warned the team to be careful. Yule stood beside June on the observation deck, watching the stars blur as the ship entered faster than light travel. The Terok looked worse than before. His scales had lost their shine, and he moved more slowly. "You're getting sick too, aren't you?" June asked. Yule nodded. The early stages. I have perhaps 2 weeks before I cannot function. June wanted to offer comfort but didn't know how. Dr. Hand is very good. If anyone can help, she can. I hope you are right, Yule said. Tell me about your doctor. On my world, healers are highly respected. Dr. Han was the top medical student in her year, June explained. She specializes in infectious diseases. She has worked in some of the poorest places on Earth, fighting outbreaks with few resources. Yule seemed pleased by this. That is good. Our medical centers are running out of supplies. Can you tell me more about your people? June asked. The council records say little about Terok society. Because they prefer to paint us as simple monsters, Yule said bitterly. He was quiet for a moment. We evolved as hunters on a harsh world. Yes, we are predators, but we are also builders and thinkers. Our society values strength, but also honor and knowledge. As they talked, Sue entered the observation deck. She still carried her weapon whenever she was near Yule. The council representative is asking to speak with you, she told June. In the communications room, a Tyrillian waited on the screen. Tyrillians were known throughout the galaxy as peaceful diplomats. This one had smooth blue skin and large eyes that blinked slowly. Lieutenant Kim, I am Representative Cole, he said. The council wishes to express concern about your mission. We're providing humanitarian aid, June replied. That's allowed under council law. Of course, Cole said. But the Terok are unpredictable. They have a history of violence. We worry for your safety. We've taken precautions, June assured him. There is something else you should know, Cole continued. The Terok were once a grave threat to the galaxy. They conquered and destroyed many worlds before the council contained them. That was centuries ago, June pointed out. Some threats never truly fade, Cole said. Be careful whom you trust, Lieutenant. The Terok are masters of deception. After the call ended, June found Dr. Han in the ship's lab. She was studying samples of Yule's blood. Something strange here, she said without looking up. This disease targets specific genetic markers found only in Terok DNA. Natural diseases don't work that way. You think it was created on purpose? June asked. I can't prove it yet, Dr. Han said. But it looks that way. And there's something else. She showed him a magnified image. See these protein structures? They're similar to a virus that affected Earth cattle in the 2080s. The one created accidentally in a Tyrillian research lab. Sue joined them, her face serious. I've been checking council records. They claim they quarantined the Terok world completely when the disease appeared. No ships in or out. But, June prompted, but our scanners detected trace engine signatures near the Terok homeworld. Council ships have been there recently. They're lying. The three humans looked at each other as the ship continued its journey. We need to be very careful, Sue said. I think we're walking into something bigger than a plague. The ship's computer announced they would reach the Terok homeworld in 6 hours. As June prepared for arrival, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were pieces in a game whose rules they didn't understand. Outside his window, the darkness of space seemed to grow deeper. The Mercy dropped out of faster-than-light travel, and the Terok homeworld filled the view screen. It was beautiful in a harsh way, with vast oceans of deep green and landmasses of red and brown. White clouds swirled in its atmosphere. It's called Terok Prime, Yule explained. Our only home now. June noticed the bitterness in Yule's voice. Now. We once lived on many worlds, Yule said. The council forced us back to our homeworld after the wars. As the ship entered the atmosphere, June saw the landscapes up close. Jagged mountains stretched toward the sky. Dense forests covered large areas. Wide plains spread between them. The ship landed near the largest city. Tall buildings of dark metal and stone rose from the ground like claws reaching for the sky. But something was wrong. The city was too quiet. Few Terok moved in the streets. Where is everyone? Sue asked as they prepared to exit the ship. Dead, dying, or caring for the sick, Yule said simply. A group of Terok waited for them outside. Unlike Yule, they wore ornate clothing with metal pieces that caught the light of the red sun. The tallest one stepped forward. I am Elder Jin, he said. His voice was deep and rumbled like distant thunder. Welcome, humans. We are grateful for your coming. Dr. Han bowed slightly. We've brought medical supplies and equipment. Please take us to your sick. Elder Jin led them through the quiet city. June felt the stares of the few Terok they passed. Some looked curious, others desperate. All looked tired. How many have been affected? Dr. Han asked. Nearly 30% of our population has fallen ill, Elder Jin said. 10% have died already. The numbers grow each day. They reached a large building that had been converted into a hospital. Inside, hundreds of Terok lay on simple beds. Medical workers moved between them, but as Yule had warned, there were too few helpers for so many sick. Dr. Han immediately began examining patients. June helped set up the equipment they had brought. Sue and her security team stayed alert, though the sick Terok hardly seemed threatening. After several hours, Dr. Han joined June and Sue in a small room they were using as a base. This is definitely engineered, she said, her face grim. The virus targets specific genetic markers that only Terok have. It's too perfect to be natural. Can you help them? June asked. Maybe. I need more time, Dr. Han replied. But I found something strange. The virus has similarities to bioweapons Earth banned centuries ago. Sue's eyes narrowed. How would someone get access to banned Earth bioweapon designs? The Council maintains a database of all known weapons, Jun said. For research purposes only, they claim. While Dr. Han returned to her work, Jun and Sue decided to explore the city. They wanted to learn more about what was happening. Elder Jin had given them permission to go anywhere. In a quiet part of the city, Sue pointed to marks on a building. Those are from energy weapons, she said. Recent too. The Terok fighting among themselves. Jun wondered. No, said a voice behind them. They turned to see Elder Jin. Those are from Council weapons. 3 weeks before the plague began, a scientific expedition visited us. When we discovered they were taking genetic samples without permission, there was a disagreement. You're saying the Council members attacked you, then released this virus? Sue asked. Elder Jin's amber eyes seemed to glow in the fading light. I have lived too long to believe in such terrible coincidences, human. Back at the hospital, they found Dr. Han examining something on her scanner. She looked up as they entered, her face pale. I've found proof, she said. This virus contains genetic markers used as signatures by Tyrillian bioengineers, the same Tyrillians who sit on the Council's Peace Committee. June felt cold despite the warm air. The most peaceful species in the galaxy created a weapon to wipe out the Terok. Why would they do this? Sue asked. Elder Jin made a sound like stones grinding together. Perhaps it is time you learned the true history between the Terok and the Council. It is not what you have been told. Elder Jin led June and Sue to a tall building in the center of the city. They rode a lift to the top floor, where a circular room offered views in all directions. The 3 suns of Terok Prime were setting, painting the sky in shades of red and purple. This was once our great hall of records, Elder Jin said, before the Council forced us to destroy most of our history. He touched a panel on the wall, and the room darkened. A 3-dimensional map of the galaxy appeared in the air before them, with hundreds of stars glowing softly. 800 years ago, the Terok controlled this much of the galaxy, Elder Jin said. Nearly a quarter of the map lit up bright red. You were conquerors, Sue said. We were explorers first, Elder Jin corrected. Yes, we fought when needed. We are predators by nature. But we also built, traded, and shared knowledge. He touched the panel again. Then the Tyrillians united the other species against us. The map changed, showing battles across many star systems. Red areas shrank as blue areas grew. The Council claims you destroyed entire worlds, Jun said. Some worlds were destroyed, Elder Jin admitted, but not by us. The Tyrellians developed terrible weapons. When they could not defeat us directly, they made planets uninhabitable, so we could not have them either. Sue looked skeptical. Why would peaceful Tyrellians do such things? Because they fear what they do not understand, Elder Jin said. Tyrellians evolved as herd creatures. They can only think in terms of the group. Species like yours and mine, predator species, value individual strength and choice. This threatens their view of how the galaxy should be. He switched off the map and turned to face them. The war ended when the Council threatened to destroy Terrak Prime. We surrendered to save our homeworld. The treaty confined us to this single planet and limited our technology. And now they've created a virus to finish what the war started, Jun said quietly. At that moment, Jun's communicator beeped. Dr. Han's voice came through, sounding excited. I need everyone back at the hospital right away. I found something important. When they returned, Dr. Han was waiting with Yule. She pointed to her medical scanner. I've been analyzing blood samples from both sick and healthy Terrak, she explained. The healthy ones have a slight genetic variation that seems to protect them from the virus. Can you use that to create a cure? Jun asked. Dr. Han shook her head. Not directly. But I noticed something else. She showed them another screen. This is Yule's blood from this morning. The virus is present, but seems to be struggling to replicate. Why? Sue asked. Because Yule has been around humans, Dr. Han said. Something in our biology is affecting the virus. I think the Tyrellians never considered that humans would help the Terrak, so they didn't design the virus to work around human genetic material. Yule looked at the humans with new understanding. That's why our scientists couldn't find a cure. They needed human genetic material to study. There's more, Dr. Han continued. The virus targets genes that make the Terrak predators, their strength, speed, hunting instincts. The Tyrellians are trying to change your very nature. Elder Jin's face showed a rage so deep that Jun took a step back. They would not destroy us outright. Instead, they would turn us into something weak and controllable. Can you create a treatment? Yule asked Dr. Han. I think so, she replied. But it would require human genetic material as a base. Before anyone could respond, alarms sounded throughout the city. Sue's communicator beeped with an urgent message. A council fleet has just entered the system, she reported. 5 ships, heavily armed. They're demanding we leave immediately. Elder Jin and Yule exchanged looks. They know you've discovered the truth, Elder Jin said. Jun faced them all, his mind racing. We have a choice to make. Leave as ordered, or stay and help the Terrak, even if it means defying the council. If we stay, we could start a diplomatic crisis, Sue warned. If we leave, we allow genocide, Dr. Han countered. The council ships would reach Terrak Prime within hours. Time was running out. We stay, Jun decided. The others looked at him in surprise. We can't let an entire species die when we might be able to help. Sue frowned, but nodded. I'll contact Captain Da. He needs to know what's happening. I need volunteers, Dr. Han said. I'll need blood samples from all human team members to test my theory. As the humans prepared, Elder Jin gathered the Terrak scientists. Together with Dr. Han, they set up a makeshift laboratory in the hospital's largest room. Equipment from the human ship was combined with Terrak technology. Jun gave his blood sample, then joined Sue at the communication station they had set up. The council ships were now in orbit around Terrak Prime. Message from the Lid Council ship, Sue reported. Representative Cole demands to speak with us. The screen lit up, showing the blue-skinned Tyrellian. His large eyes blinked slowly as he studied the humans. Lieutenant Kim, you were sent to provide basic medical aid, Cole said. not to interfere in council matters. You must leave immediately. We've discovered evidence that this plague was created deliberately, Jun replied, by Tyrillian scientists. Cole's face showed no reaction. That is a serious accusation without proof. The Terok have clearly manipulated you. We have proof, Sue said. Dr. Han found Tyrillian genetic signatures in the virus. Even if true, this matter is for the Council to investigate, Cole insisted. Your presence on Terok Prime is no longer authorized. You have 3 hours to depart. The screen went dark. Sue looked at Jun. They're not going to let us help the Terok. Then we work faster, Jun said. In the laboratory, Dr. Han had made progress. She moved quickly between screens and equipment, her face tense with concentration. The virus targets genetic markers that only predator species have, she explained as Jun and Sue joined her. It's trying to destroy what makes the Terok who they are. But humans are partly predators too, Jun said. We evolved as hunters. Exactly, Dr. Han said. But our predator genes are different enough that the virus doesn't recognize them. And our immune system fights the virus in ways the Terok immune system doesn't. Yul watched closely. Despite his illness, he helped translate technical terms for the Terok scientists. Can you use this to create a cure? Not a cure exactly, Dr. Han said. But I think I can create a treatment using human genetic material as a shield. It would attach to the Terok cells and prevent the virus from identifying them as targets. One of the Terok scientists spoke rapidly to Yul, who turned to Dr. Han. He says such a treatment might alter Terok genetics over time. Yes, Dr. Han admitted. Future generations might show some human genetic traits. Nothing major, but your people would be slightly different. Elder Jin stepped forward. We face extinction. Some change is better than no future at all. Dr. Han nodded and returned to her work. The hours passed quickly as humans and Terok worked together. Outside, the council ships maintained their position, a silent threat in the sky. 2 hours later, Dr. Han held up a vial of cloudy liquid. It's ready for testing. This combines human immune factors with a modified version of the virus. If it works, it will teach Terok bodies how to fight the plague. Who will be the test subject? Jun asked. Yul stepped forward. I will. I brought the humans here. I should be the one to test their solution. Dr. Han carefully injected the treatment into Yul's arm. Everyone watched anxiously as the minutes passed. Yul sat quietly, his amber eyes closed in concentration. After an hour, Dr. Han checked his vital signs. Her face broke into a smile. The virus count is dropping. It's working. A cheer went up from both humans and Terok, but their celebration was cut short by Sue's voice. The council ships are powering weapons, she called out. They're targeting the city. Alarms sounded throughout the city. Sue rushed to the communication station, while Jun helped Dr. Han secure the treatment samples. They're targeting our ship first, Sue reported, then the hospital. We need to mass-produce the treatment now, Dr. Han told the Terok scientists. They quickly began the process, using equipment brought from the human ship. Elder Jin touched a panel on the wall. A shield of energy formed above the city. This will not hold long against council weapons, he warned. Incoming transmission, Sue called out. The screen showed Representative Cole again. His face was calm, but his voice was cold. This is your final warning. Leave now or we will remove you by force. The Terok situation is a council matter. Jun stepped forward. We know what the Terok situation really is. You created a virus to destroy them. That's genocide, and we won't allow it. You don't understand what you're interfering with, Cole replied. The Terok are too dangerous to exist in their current form. This is the will of the Council. The will of the Council is to murder millions. Jun's voice rose. Is that what your peaceful Tyrillian society stands for? Cole's large eyes narrowed. Sometimes difficult choices must be made for the greater good. The Terok threatened galactic peace for centuries. We are simply ensuring they never will again. By targeting their genetic code, Dr. Han said, joining June. By trying to change what they are. Exactly, Call agreed. Their predator nature makes them inherently dangerous. Our solution is elegant, not killing them, but removing what makes them a threat. Without their consent, June pointed out. That's still genocide. This conversation is over, Call said. You have 10 minutes to board your ship and leave. The screen went dark. The humans looked at each other. We can't fight Council warships, Sue said. We don't need to fight, Dr. Han replied. We just need time to produce enough of the treatment. A new alarm sounded. Sue checked her scanner. They've launched smaller ships. They're coming to the surface. Elder Jin gathered his warriors. We will defend the hospital as long as possible. June contacted Captain Da on Frontier Station 1, explaining the situation. We need help, he finished. The Council is attacking to stop our treatment. Captain Day's face was grave. I've already contacted Earth Command. They've sent ships, but they won't arrive for hours. We may not have hours, Jum said. Outside, they heard the sound of energy weapons. The Terok defenders were engaging the Council forces at the edge of the city. Dr. Han worked frantically with the Terok scientists. We've made enough for about 300 doses so far, she told June. We need thousands. Suddenly, a new voice came over the communication system. Attention Council vessels. This is Captain Da Sung of Earth Fleet Vessel Defender. Stand down your weapons immediately. Sue's scanner showed new ships entering the system. Captain Da brought reinforcements. On the screen, Call appeared again, now looking concerned. Captain Da, you are interfering in Council business. I'm preventing an illegal act of genocide, Captain Da replied. Earth does not recognize the Council's authority in this matter. You risk war with the entire Council, Cole warned. And you risk showing the galaxy what the Council really stands for, Captain Da countered. I'm sending proof of the engineered virus to every species in the galaxy right now. Do you think they'll support you when they learn the truth? The Council ships stopped firing. In the hospital, everyone held their breath. Earth ships are moving between the Council fleet and the planet, Sue reported. They're protecting us. June turned to Dr. Han. How much more time do you need? 2 hours to make enough doses for all the sick Terok, she answered. June looked at Elder Jin. Will your people accept a treatment that might change them slightly? The old Terok's amber eyes met June's. To survive, we will adapt. That is what predators do. Outside, the two fleets faced each other in orbit, neither backing down. For 2 tense hours, the Earth ships and Council fleet faced each other above Terok Prime. Inside the hospital, Dr. Han and the Terok scientists worked without rest to produce more of the treatment. The last batch is ready, Dr. Han announced finally. She looked tired but proud. We have enough for all the infected Terok. Teams of Terok medical workers began giving the treatment to the sick. Yul, who had received the first dose, was already showing improvement. His scales had regained some shine, and he moved with more energy. How do you feel? Joan asked him. Different, Yul admitted, but stronger. The fever is gone. Captain Da contacted them from his ship. The Council has called an emergency meeting. They're demanding we hand over all research on the virus and the treatment. What will you do? June asked. Stall them, Captain Da replied. We need proof that the treatment works before we can take this to the full Galactic Assembly. As they waited for results, Elder Jin asked June and Dr. Han to join him in a private room. His face was solemn. There is something more you should know, he said, something the Council fears even more than our strength. He activated a small device on the table. A hologram appeared, showing strange symbols. This is the reason the Tyrillians fear us, Elder Jin explained. We discovered this language in ancient ruins on our colony worlds. It belongs to a species that came before all of us, a species the Council calls the Precursors. I've heard rumors about precursor technology, Jun said. But the council says it's just myths. Not myths, Elder Jin said. The precursors left behind powerful technology and knowledge. The Terek found many such sites. We learned to read their language. And the council wanted that knowledge for themselves, Jun guessed. Elder Jin nodded. The Tyrillians believe that predator species cannot be trusted with such power. They feared we would use it to dominate the galaxy. Would you have? Dr. Han asked directly. We wanted to understand the universe, not rule it, Elder Jin said. But the Tyrillians could not believe that. They see all predators as dangerous. That is why they fear humans too. Us. Jun was surprised. Humans are omnivores, but you have predator instincts, Elder Jin explained. The council has been watching your species carefully. They fear you will follow our path. Sue entered the room, interrupting them. Good news. The treatment is working for everyone who's received it. And Captain Day says 3 more Earth ships have arrived. On the main communication screen, Representative Call appeared again. His calm expression had been replaced by anger. You are making a grave mistake, he told them. You don't understand what the Terek are capable of. We understand that they're people fighting to survive, Jun replied. People your council tried to destroy. Not destroy, change, Cole insisted. For the safety of all. Without their consent, Dr. Han added. And that's wrong. Cole's large eyes narrowed. The Earth ships can't stay forever. This matter is not over. After the transmission ended, Captain Da joined them on the surface. He met with Jun, Sue, Dr. Han, and the Terek leaders. Earth Command has reviewed all the evidence, he told them. They're taking this to the full Galactic Assembly. The Council will have to answer for their actions. Will that be enough? Sue asked. The Council has controlled the galaxy for centuries. Many species will be shocked to learn what the Council did here, Captain Da said. Creating a biological weapon violates the founding principles of the Assembly. Elder Jin looked at the humans with his amber eyes. Why did you help us? You risked war with the Council for a species you barely know. Captain Da's answer was simple. Because it was right. As they talked, more Terek were receiving the treatment. Those who had received it earlier were already recovering. For the first time in months, hope spread through the Terek city. But in orbit, the Council ships remained, waiting and watching. 6 months had passed since the events on Terek Prime. June stood at the window of the New Earth Embassy, looking out over the Terek city. The streets were busy now, filled with healthy Terek going about their lives. The treatment had worked. The plague was gone. Today was important. The Galactic Assembly would announce its final decision about the Council's actions. Yule joined June at the window. In the months since taking the treatment, subtle changes had appeared in the Terek. Their amber eyes now had flecks of human-like colors. Their movements were slightly less predatory, but their strength and intelligence remained. Our scientists say the changes are small, Yule told June. We are still Terek, just slightly different. Do your people resent the changes? June asked. Some do, Yule admitted, but most understand it was necessary for survival. And there have been unexpected benefits. The human genetic elements have made us more adaptable. Captain Day entered the room, followed by Dr. Han and Sue. It's time, he said. The assembly is ready. They gathered around the large communication screen. The Galactic Assembly chamber appeared, with representatives from over 200 species. At the center was the New Earth representative, standing next to Elder Jin of the Terek. After reviewing all evidence, the assembly leader announced, "We find that members of the Council violated our most sacred laws by creating a biological weapon against the Terek species. The Council is hereby dissolved and will be replaced by a new governing body with representatives from all species, including Earth and Terek." Cheers erupted from the Terek city when the news spread. For the first time in centuries, they would have a voice in galactic matters. Later that day, Elder Jin invited the humans to a private meeting. His face was solemn as he addressed them. "You saved my people," he said. "The Tarak will never forget this debt." "We did what was right," Captain Day replied. "There is something else you should know," Elder Jin continued. "The Council did not fear us only for our strength or the precursor knowledge we found." He activated a hologram showing galaxy maps and strange energy readings. "They feared what we discovered," Elder Jin explained. "The precursors left warnings about something coming from beyond the galaxy, something that threatens all life." The humans stared at the images with concern. "The Council believed only they could prepare for this threat," Elder Jin said. "They thought predator species like ours would make it worse with our aggressive natures. But now we know they were wrong," Jun said. "It took both our species working together to solve the plague crisis." Elder Jin nodded. "Exactly. Perhaps it will take all species, predators and prey, warriors and scholars, to face what is coming." "When will it arrive?" Captain Day asked. "Not for many years," Elder Jin assured him. "But we must begin preparing now." As the meeting ended, Jun found Yule waiting outside. The Tarak scientist looked thoughtful. "Do you know why we really chose humans for help?" he asked. "Because of our medical history," Jun replied. Yule shook his head. "That was part of it. But the main reason was that we saw ourselves in you." "How so?" "Humans are predators who chose to be more than their instincts," Yule explained. "You have the hunting past, but you built civilizations based on cooperation and compassion. The galaxy never gave the Tarak that chance. They feared us from the beginning." June thought about this as they walked through the Tarak city. Overhead, ships from Earth and other worlds moved through the sky. The galaxy was changing. The old council was gone. A new era was beginning. "The Tyrillians called us the most dangerous species in the galaxy," Yule said. "But they were wrong. It's humans." "Why?" June asked, surprised. "Because you have the strength to fight, but choose to heal instead," Yule replied. "Because you see beyond fear. That makes you more powerful than any weapon." As night fell on Tarak Prime, two predator species, once strangers, now allies, looked up at the stars together, ready for whatever the future might bring.